better not turn that music down. You better keep that music up. Let's go.
You're on.
Welcome back, or welcome here to the Midnight with Marcus Maben pregame seasonal kickoff show. Thanks for joining us. Tell a friend to tell a friend right now joining in. I think we're going with the number 8150-93.9. Is that going to be the number we're rolling with, or we're going with 267? 93.9. 8150-93.9 is the number. 93.9 is the station. Nobody could keep me out this building. The midnight show is starting. But first, listen, before we start getting into the full throttle midnight show, people, let's have a moment of silence. Let's have a moment of offering. Let's have a moment of prayer, a moment of thanks. There is somebody. Nobody passed away. Don't worry about it, people. Nobody passed away, but somebody wanted to be here who could not be here today. No, it's okay. My man, you can open that. My man, Stephen M. Rummage, decided that he wanted to pick, he wanted to choose, he wanted to select the night before Alabama, the culmination of all things football at the University of Louisville. He chose today to decide to bring another human male into the world. He wanted to be here, people. He tried to be here, people. He did everything humanly possible to be here to join the midnight show. But people, what are we going to do? What can we say other than, sorry you couldn't be here? So, but you know, like, don't give this man a hard time. Don't do it. People, right now, I'm on, currently, we are made for the Ville. Most of the traffic will be going through Twitter, other traffic going through the YouTube channel, but I'm giving you the opportunity right now to jump in. It is 10:08, people, and I'm just getting warmed up. Listen, you got to apologize sometimes. I know you heard that. That was my coffee. I really did not need that coffee, but that was my coffee. I am so happy to be here. Let me make sure everything's set up before we start setting the show, the scene, the narrative. Alabama Crimson Tide on deck around this time tomorrow. We will be either celebrating, we will be tormenting, we will be prejudging, we will be doing all things football, all things sports. Mark Ennis is down in Florida right now. He'll be taking your calls because people were the first and only to be taking all calls directly following the game. All sound directly from the locker room. All things University of Louisville football. And before then, I don't have to read directly with me. Pre-game show. Are you on the air at all? Pre-game coverage begins at 8 o'clock. Pre-game coverage, 12 hours of pre-game coverage. I don't know the exact time. Drew Diener will be here. Andy Sweeney will be here. Jason Anderson will be here. Lachlan McClain will be here. Mark Blakenbaker, probably down in Orlando somewhere. Mark Ennis may do pregame, maybe postgame, maybe, it doesn't matter. 12 hours of pregame coverage before the Alabama kickoff. Why, do you ask? Well, it's simple. I want everybody to relax right now because I'm talking to a different demo than you are probably. If you're a young punk newcomer, or if you're an OG, look at that. We're looking at ESPN right now. The commercials are rolling. Here's the problem, people. This thing has been so far in the making. Do you realize that when you plan something 3 years ahead of time, it seems so far off in the distance, it might as well be time travel. It might as well be like when you predict something, hey, in 3 years, we got Alabama. I don't even know what I'll be doing in 3 years from now. No, people. We talked about it 3 years ago. We talked about it 2 years ago. We talked about Lamar Jackson, if he'll be starting at the University of Louisville 3 years ago, will he be a member of the University of Louisville to face Alabama? Do you know how much has changed since then? Do you realize we were damn near in the Big East football conference when this conversation about taking on Alabama started 3 years ago? Oh, people, the outside microphone, we're setting it up right now. We don't think we. The University of Louisville was in a almost non-football competitive Big East just recently. This game today, imagine the arrogance attached to the University of Louisville. I mean, the confidence, the growth, the development of the program that is taking place. I am from Conference USA Louisville. Some of your best players to ever put on a University of Louisville uniform are Conference USAs, Metros, AACs, Big Easts, and now you get a regular season shot in the front lawn, in the front of the college football universe. You know what you get to do? You get to take off your shirt. You get to take off your shoes. You get to square up with somebody you've wanted a piece of for year after year after year. You get to do it not with your Heisman Trophy Michael Bush injured, not with your, oh, we just lost our season because we got upset by Houston and you don't know if there's anything to play for. All the experiences that the University of Louisville has been through in their growth as a football program, not having the stadiums. I was there when Jurevicius was at Penn State. Who was it? Kerry Collins or something? Who was that Penn State quarterback? No, not Happy Valley, but good call. Not Happy Valley. What is our Cardinal Stadium? The Fairgrounds. I was there when Arnold Jackson was running back punts. I was there when Ivan Green was just a baby. I was there when Chris Redman was just trying to build the program up, was just trying to get respectable wins. I remember when University of Louisville was 1-10, and we were 2 seconds away. You know what the Courier-Journal was talking about? Should we have football at the University of Louisville? Does it fit in the budget? People, I'm saying these things because I need you to appreciate. Take a second. Take a deep breath. Think about where you come from before you even judge the game, because you're going into this game knowing you got a shot. You're going forward. You're going into a game against an SEC opponent, and you know what you're believing? Your starting five can go with them, right? You're listening to most television pundits saying Alabama is just better. Why are they just better? Because they're Alabama. And then smart people start talking about the matchup. And really smart people, you know what they're doing? I don't know. You better be careful with this Louisville bunch. And then people who don't know, they're saying, there's no more Lamar Jackson. And smart people are saying, well, there is a guy named Puma Pass who spurned Alabama. Do you realize this something, people? I know you listen to Middays with Marcus Maven. I know you listen to the daily shows. I know you've heard this before. Sometimes People, you just got to be respectable or respectful of the people who don't get to listen every day. So if I've said something before that you've heard before or that you've read in the tweet, just bear with me, people. We have a totally new audience today. And to that new audience at midnight who is getting ready to go to sleep one last time before they get their shot at Alabama, do you know what they don't realize? You know what they've heard? They've heard of some guy named Puma Pass, Jawan Pass. Who is this guy? He's not Lamar Jackson. You want to know who the guy is that you're going to war with? You're going with the guy who is one of the most touted quarterbacks of a championship program. And I don't mean touted, I mean sought after. Imagine, just take a second, people. Just imagine if there was a championship team, a team that dominated college football, dominant players everywhere, dominant coaches everywhere, just a dominant program, the gold standard. Now imagine if this dominant team and this dominant coach said, you know what, in order to continue to dominate the future, we need one guy. We need one player that I think will be in control of ensuring my future as a dominant team. It's this kid. He's from Georgia, right? He goes to a high school called Carver, right? Now, I went and looked at this kid with my own two eyes. And if I could get that kid on my team, I could guarantee future continued domination the world over. I need one guy to ensure my future. His name is Jawan Pass, a.k.a. Puma Pass. The one most sought after quarterback 3 years ago. Puma Pass. Now imagine if a coach of a number one program just off a championship said, I need you to ensure my future. I'm 19 years old. I'm 18 years old. Imagine a grown man, young fella, looking at that coach and saying, Coach, I'm flattered that you would consider me as the man who can lead your championship team into the future. But about 8 hours up the road, there's this guy. He's kind of been through a lot. This is a program that's not, it's not the program that, it's not the sexiest program in the football world. But there's a coach, and there's a team, and there's a university that I believe in more than I believe in you, Coach Saban. His name is Bobby Petrino. The University of Louisville and Bobby Petrino. I believe in them more than I believe in you, Nick Saban. I believe in those guys more than I believe in you. Thus, I'm going to the University of Louisville. My mom had one request of me. That one request was I don't go beyond 7 hours from my home. Louisville's 8 hours. Imagine somebody willing to break the family rule. Imagine somebody willing to not only send Puma Pass, but Brother Kane Pass as well to the University of Louisville. People, this is years and years and years in the making. I got to admit, I'm talking about this, I'm getting excited, and right now I'm looking at Western Kentucky, Wisconsin. You do realize we also play Western Kentucky in about 2 weeks. But that's neither here nor there. This is Alabama night. How are we going to get straight to the phone lines? I'm not sure. Phone lines. You know what? If we got a producer on that phone line, give me our first caller. 8150-939 is the number. Let it
Hey,
go.
you got Lawrence.
Lawrence, fire away, my man.
Marcus, I was there with you watching all those games. Jerry Business, Curry Collins.
Yes.
Oh, Marcus, I've got to say something this morning. Big up to Elvis Dumerville. 12 great years in the NFL.
Thank you for that.
I forgot about him. 12 great years in the NFL. Thank you, Elvis, for everything you did for this university and representing the art tomorrow, man. This is the one game Louisville must win if you want to change the history of Louisville football. It starts tomorrow, right now. I say, with my eyes, one of the best quarterbacks to ever, maybe one of the best quarterbacks ever to come to Louisville. That game tomorrow is going to start his Heisman campaign. It's Tuku Atwell, you got to show out because the kid at Purdue showed out. You got to show out now. Bobby got to run some plays and show he made the right decision picking him over that kid from Purdue. Other than that, I'm ready, Marcus. I'm ready.
Lawrence, listen, I appreciate the call. Listen, I feel your energy here. Here's the thing. I felt like it was important to just dabble in the history, kind of tap into your emotions of the history, because here's the thing. If you forget how much of a hunter University of Louisville has been, you lose your way. Nothing makes you recruit the wrong players. Nothing makes you second guess your decisions. Nothing makes you more unsure of yourself moving forward than forgetting where you come from. I listen. As soon as we get to a commercial break, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get on my phone and I'm going to text former players, and I'm going to demand that any former player that has been through the growth of university call into the show. Any fan who has been at home saying, I think we can play with those people. Like, this is your time. Like the newer fan, they're just going to have fun. The older fan is going to take a deep breath and say, I've been praying for this as a Louisville fan. I've been praying for a shot at Alabama for 30 years. And listen, yes, we got the Fiesta Bowl and things like that, but I'm not talking about Fiesta Bowl, Bama. I'm talking about number one in the nation. You can't run from me. There is absolutely no excuses. Your entire season is on the line. Our season is on the line. I want a shot at the champ. Right? I want to know, is your bark and your bite the same? I've been dying to get a chance to know this Louisville fan, Metro Louisville fan, USA Louisville fan. I'm not just fan, player. Right? How many times do you remember the Rutgers situation where even if you win, you have no idea if you're ever going to get a shot at the title? Could you imagine that? Could you imagine going undefeated through an entire season, and you're 2 games away from being undefeated, and something creeps in your mind because you know that even if I beat this team, I might not even have a chance at the title. You know what people say? People say, adults say, everybody says, hey, block that stuff out. Easy for you to say. There's nothing easier for you to say. It's just like everybody says, your surgery is minor. Oh, I've been through that surgery before. You just get put under, and you get put under in a sleeping coma for someone to cut on your tendons. That's not minor. Hey, you're already 11-0. Just knock down the other 2 last games, and let the chips fall. Team. Oh, but just hey, don't even look at that. Just keep fighting. You got Houston on a Thursday night on the road. You got cheated out of a Clemson victory in Death Valley. Wait, no. Clemson's not Death Valley. Is Clemson Death Valley? Is Clemson Death Valley? Or is that LSU? Right. Well, whatever. You Happy Valley. Whatever. Clemson. You got Clemson on the ropes. And they act like it was a bad night for Clemson. That does not work when you tell someone to keep concentrating. Don't even worry about it. Hey, just keep your head down. Just hey, you think every team for 2 years straight is not fighting to get a piece of Lamar Jackson? You know what? This is one of my favorite callers on the phone. I'm going straight to the phone lines. 8150-939. Philly Carl, thanks for joining us on the Midnight Show, my man. What's on your mind?
What's up, man? I was about to come down there and buy you one of them sloppy joes and you and Steve the chicken parmesan. They just told me Steve's wife having a baby.
His wife is going ahead and having that baby. Now, listen,
Yeah,
I don't know whether I want to laugh because, listen, didn't we tell you, like, I don't know much about having a baby, but I'm telling you, his wife looked different lately. That baby was coming, man. Like I said, listen, it's not my business, but when she started posting pictures, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
That baby's coming, Steve. Oh, man, it's not coming till after the game. So
now I got to double back, man. But I called because, man, what's the spread right now? Because I gamble a little bit. So on the card that I called it was at 27. They told me it's lowering.
What's the spread?
They got another game that's 37 points for Ohio State and Oregon State. So, I take the points, man. I got to try to win.
Listen, look, I do not know the spread as of yet. Look, my crack staff is looking it up right now. Listen, let me ask you this, Philly. What would it take for you to take Louisville? What would the spread have to be for you to take Louisville all day long?
I'm taking Louisville because, like I said, I bet Western Kentucky. I think it was year before last, and the spread was 28, and they kept it within 28, but the tie goes to Bama. So I know Louisville can keep it close. But this is the kicker, Marcus. If the line blocks, Alabama's corners suck. So if Louisville line blocks, it can be an upset.
24.5 is the spread. Is that takeable?
Okay. Yeah, that's takeable. That's takeable. All day.
Philly, I appreciate the call, man. Listen, I'm going to go to listen right now. We're on the YouTube channel. We are made for the Ville. Is the channel we're on live right now? I'm going to consider this the text line. Subscribe now, people, so you get the shows. You get the listen. I might put a camera on myself wherever we go watch the game. I might just take my tripod and put us on. I'm gonna just go through a couple of things. We got James Anthony with a prediction on. I'm sorry, man. I didn't know if I was supposed to say your name. You don't want to get you in trouble if you're at work. But 28-24 Alabama. I like that. Thing that worries me is if we win, we can't let it get to our heads and lose to a cupcake team. I hear you. But let me ask you this. Like, let's be honest about the psychology of a university. You beat Alabama and you lose to Western Kentucky. Would you sign up for that? Would you sign up for that? Would you sign up for beating Alabama and then getting upset by Western Kentucky? You know why? Because everybody on the planet would say Louisville just was having too much fun. Right? Like, I got no problem with that. I got no problem. Listen, I'm not going to like it. It's not going to be fun. But I'm telling you, everyone would know that Louisville team did not just lose to a better Western Kentucky team. Gamblers know it. Adults know it. You can have letdowns. You can lose to Houston when all the teams ahead of you lose and nobody falls behind you. I've seen it happen with my own two eyes. I've beat number 1 teams in the country, and I've watched them fall to number 2, and I've watched my team that was number 18 move up to number 17. I've done it myself. I hear what you're saying. You think you can say shake it off, and a young man's supposed to shake it off. It doesn't work that way. But here's the thing. That's why I opened the show. That's why I opened the show with the thought of remember who you are. Remember your Metro. Remember your AAC. Remember your Big East. Remember your grind and struggle, because that's what makes the reward great, because it's a long journey. It's a long time coming. You had to beat Florida to get a shot at this game. You have to have teams that you know can bring a product to the big time games. Right now, Louisville fans are gathered all in Orlando. They're listening. They have taken over bars and restaurants. And you know what they're doing? RCARDS card. Like, they're actually doing that in other places, and people are looking like, what the hell is this? I came to this sports bar. I came to this, insert said sports bar in Orlando, Florida. Who is all this red, and where does it come from, and what are they doing, and they're playing who and what? Oh, my God. This fan base is psychopaths. You're leaving a footprint at bowl games. You think New Orleans doesn't know when Louisville's in town? You think Nashville doesn't know? You think these sites with these games don't remember? I don't know who they are, but they come down here with players and fans. And who is that school? Louisville, man. For them not to be a state school, they sure do bring it. For them not to be the traditional powerhouse, they sure do bring it. What about them has them so edgy? Why every time I get on Twitter, I see Louisville stuff all the time? Because we care about it more than you. We take it personal. I'm sorry. Dude, who do we got on the line?
Got Andy on line 1. That's it.
Who we got? Andy? Well, let's go straight to it. Andy, thanks for joining us on the Midnight Show, man. Fire away.
Hey, Marcus, how are you, man?
I'm wonderful.
First of all, before I get into what I got to say, big shout out to the Rummage family. Thoughts and prayers. Everything's good with the little X, and everything goes wonderful, man. So I wanted to put that out there.
I appreciate that.
Second thing is I am probably the fan that you want to talk to, because I'll take Louisville straight up. I have no qualms with that. I have no doubt about it. As far as the matchup goes, we actually match up very, very, very well on all fronts, and we have enough depth for the first time in probably a decade to compete with a team like Alabama. And Juwan, I mean, obviously Juwan's not, Lamar, because there probably will never be another Lamar in college football. But he's mobile enough to be a problem. He's got a big enough arm. He's accurate. We have bigger, stronger, faster receiver. I have zero qualms taking Louisville straight up. And if we lost every game this season except the Kentucky and Alabama game, I'm the happiest guy in the world. I couldn't care less.
Wait a minute. Just say that one more time so I know I heard you clear.
You let us beat Bama, and we keep beating Kentucky, and I couldn't care less about the other 10 games.
You do know people are going to be mad at you for saying that, right?
Yeah, I don't really care. I mean, they can be as mad as they want. At the end of the day, we beat the best dynasty in the last 60, 70 years in college football.
Right.
And we got to beat our rivals.
Right.
It is what it is, man. I have zero problems with that at all. I'll go 2-10 to beat Bama week 1 and beat Kentucky week 12.
See,
zero problems at all.
Man, Andy, I appreciate that call. See, you see what happened just now? What Andy just said, I get in trouble for. I get in trouble. I sit across from Steve Rummage, and he gets me, we got to win the conference first, and we got to be. And I'm like, dude, are you not entertained? You put me You put Maximus out. You would fight me, right? What's my emperor's name in Gladiator? Commodus, right? You got Maximus, you got Commodus in there, right? Is Commodus the guy I'm thinking of? You get my point. When he said, you and me in the ring, do you remember the way Maximus looked at him? You would fight me? No, you wouldn't. I mean, yeah, listen, I know you're all powerful. I know you're all, you know, Alabama? You'd fight me? You know what I'll do? You know what I'll do to you in front of this mob? Do you know what I'll do to you? Do you know? You are not ready for the pain that I can bring. You're taking a big risk jumping into this ring with me. I mean, listen, what Andy just said, Andy, like, I have a huge responsibility to not say things like that. I have a huge responsibility to not admit that. But again, Andy, you have to appreciate you and I are spirit animals. I'm sorry, people. If you don't get to hear me often, you've heard this a million times. Hear it one more time. I played for a 12-20 University of Louisville basketball team. We beat Kentucky the year they won the national championship. 20 years later, y'all beat Kentucky. They don't even remember Kentucky won the championship that year. Nobody shows Tubby Smith love for winning the 1998 national championship. You suck, Tubby. You lost to Louisville. I had to watch that jackass number 5 on the front page of the Courier Journal and the Lexington Herald with his finger up to his mouth going, you let a 12-20 Louisville team come up into Rupp and bust our ass. Have you ever seen a championship coach get closer to getting fired than Tubby Smith? This is my point. You go bust Alabama. You crack their shell. You remember in 300 when he took that spear and cut that cheek? Right? When listen, he bleeds. He bleeds. Louisville goes and cuts that Alabama cheek, puts a big L right on their record at the beginning of the season. You know what happens? They get busted over and over again. I mean, they don't suck. They don't just fall off the planet. But I'm telling you, it takes a Louisville to crack that shell. Not LSU and not Auburn, because it's a rivalry. Things got, anybody can do. No. Louisville represents UCF. Louisville represents Boise State. Louisville represents every team that just got a combination this year. Like, there's always a team that has a TCU. TCU should have to overperform. They have to go undefeated and beat everybody by 30 points just to get a mention in the top 10. No. If you let Louisville crack that Alabama shell early in the season, guess what? Power Fives have to have this conversation now. We can't leave UCF out. We can't leave the teams that deserve an opportunity to show what they have. But it has to happen early in the year. It has to happen when everybody's healthy. You know what it has to happen to a team who never has preseason letdowns. Alabama does not lose openers. That's when you say, we got you at full health. You didn't have a quarterback roll their ankle. You didn't have any issues. You busted USC last year. You beat up on Florida State that year. You decided that this was the year you were going to be the diva and have an ESPN show. You decided this was the year where you got arrogant. You get knocked on your ass by Louisville. that can happen. We're going to get into some details. We're going to get into some player breakdown. I wanted to cover where you're at as a football program starting off the show. Quick commercial break, midnight with Marcus Maben pregame on 93.9 The Ville.
Here is optimal aging expert Dr. Neil Rouzier on the benefits of membership at 25 again.
We use thyroid to make people feel better. So when you add thyroid, DHEA, estrogen, and